Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. I'm Sean Kimbalo in Lagos. It's President Muhammadu Buhari's birthday, and the messages have been pouring in from left, right, and center. Government officials across party lines have been sending birthday greetings to the president. We also wish the president a more fulfilling years as he celebrates his 75th birthday. Moving on now, so Nigeria has 67 political parties now. The Independent National Electoral Commission registered 21 new political parties during the past week. The decision was taken on Thursday during the weekly meeting of the electoral body held at the INEC headquarters in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Now, it makes the new party different from the old one. Are they truly a breath of fresh air? Joining us from our Abuja studio is Mr. Tope Fasua, Pro Tem Chairman about the Nigeria Renewal Party, one of INEC newly registered party. He joins us on the program now. Thank you so much, Mr. Fasua, for your time on the program. You are one of the new 21 political parties. We had a few of them, about 12 or so the last time, which brought the political parties to 45. With these new ones, it has brought it to 67. But the question will be, in the Nigeria political landscape, what makes your own party this kind of platform? You are the Pro-Tem Chairman of the ANRP. The question is, what makes you different from other political parties?
Right, thank you very much, Sean. I think I could reel off, about 10 more things that are different about us compared to the ones that exist now. But perhaps I should say that it's about the age of our ideas and the age of the ideas of the big parties now and the ones that are, calling the shots as well. In ANRP, I think we're the very first party in the history of this country that was formed from a very broad base. By the time we were announced fully and given the permission to go ahead, we had over 27,000 members. As we're speaking, we're very close to 28,000 members. People have been joining from everywhere. And this is a national party, it's not a regional party. And it's the first time in the history of this country that, the youth are not so young also. They came together, professionals coming together to say, guys, we've been in abeyance for too long. We've been basically complaining and, saying that these people have not done this and that, but the time on our hands, we decided to come together. We are a technology-based party, is IT-driven, but that doesn't mean that we don't have an eye on the grassroots. But what that means is that we have total transparency. If you joined us today, we have you in a database, which we can call up. It's surprising that of the 46 parties that exist, maybe about 8 or 9 of them have websites. That's unbelievable. So for us, from the moment we even conceived the idea, which is a year ago, exactly a year ago yesterday, we had a website. Everybody that joined us was documented, and it was totally transparent. We've got about 250 or more WhatsApp groups in which people are engaging, and we're actually getting the youth to step up, not only the youth, even the not so young, and the young at heart as well. Even old people joining us from across the board in the whole of Nigeria. We have branches, we have outreaches in all the states of the Federation as well. So it's about the age of our ideas, and it's about the age of the ideas of the people who are there now. We're all about global best practices. We're all about fiscal responsibility. We believe that this country is not supposed to be where it is right now. We're talking about a country where our citizens are running across the Sahara, dying in the Mediterranean, a country with perhaps the highest poverty ratio in the world. And by next year, we're built to overtake even India in terms of the sheer number of poor people in the world. Now, the point is, do we continue to complain, or do we try and organize ourselves and do something about this? And we decided to do the latter. We decided to organize ourselves and step up and get it.
If I may quickly come in here, having a political parties world over is beyond just having a website and having random people come onto the website and registering and joining the party. The issue of political parties goes beyond that. On your website, you did say you have observed the challenges of our time and the continuous struggle for Nigeria's social economy. The question is, what exactly have you observed? You said you're coming together. What makes you different from all of the parties that we've seen in the past, those that have died and deregistered, and you, exactly, what have you observed that you are bringing to the table?
Well, okay, again, the point is we decided that, we shouldn't just sit by and be watching Nigeria drift, the way it is as it is, For example, one of the things we observed in terms of the age of the ideas of the current parties right now is that, the other time I was here talking about Nigeria's budget level, the fact that we have the lowest budget level even in Africa. Our national budget, we're budgeting $111 per person, where South Africa is budgeting almost $2,000 per person on the national level. We're not talking about regional level, or we're not talking about state, we're not talking about these other ones. And, the point now is perhaps I should even ask you the question, are we happy with the way Nigeria is right now? And are we happy continuing with the current ethos of waste, the current ethos of ego tripping, the current ethos of, total kind of dissonance in government where nobody actually cares about the people. The other day, I shared on my Facebook wall President Xi Jinping of China, who is the leader of about 1.4 billion people, going to a village on top of a hill in China, interacting with the people, going into their homes, and so on. And the point is, we don't see our leaders doing this. I believe that this can be done. Equally, I saw President Lyndon Johnson in 1964, thereabout, he did what they call a poverty tour. He went to those places in Tennessee, in Kentucky, in South Carolina, in all of those poor places, interacting with the poor people who were earning $500 per annum as at that time, with a lot of children, and we believe that these are the things that we need to do. So we've observed the fact that in terms of administrative efficiency, Nigeria is not there, willy-nilly. All right, we're not there. In fact, the other day, we also did a research in our party and found out that in terms of the size of the public sector, Nigeria is nowhere to be found. If you went to countries that are working, they have a very efficient public sector. For example, now, I can tell you right now that most of our villages in Nigeria, most of them, don't even see the presence of government, whether state, local, or national. They don't see anybody until it is time for politicking. Then we go and deceive all these people, and then we give them 2,000 naira or some bags of gari, and then we leave them for the next 4 years. And we said, this is not the way to do government, and that we believe that entrenching all the things that we stand for in NRP, we can make all these things right. We can step up and make all these things right
over the last
before.